Welcome. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Be sure to share the show. Thank you for listening. This is Joey. Let's get started. I've said, and I will often continue to say, that this show is about black politics. I stand by that. I mean that. And one of my first goals that I set out when I made this show with regards to black politics was that I wanted people who listen to this show to have a better sense of understanding as to what politics is and all the aspects in their life that involve politics that you may not really think about, right? Black folks often say they don't get involved with politics and politics is a waste of time and politics is politricks and all that kind of stuff. But we practice politics in our everyday personal lives and don't even really realize it. And we don't really realize how effective it is. Now, I'll say this first and foremost. Politics, if nothing else, is about community. And it's about caring about community. And community is simply just the people around you, the people you care about, the people that you speak with, that you deal with, that you commune with, right? So if you don't really care about people, if you don't really see yourself as a people, if you only see yourself as your individualized self, you won't really see the point of politics. Now, I hate to go down normally the problem with black people roads because oftentimes they're very insincere and they don't really get down to the root of the problem. Often these things stop at, well, black people need to quit gangbanging, or we need to go to school, we need to pick our pants up and bullshit. When you hear black people saying stuff like that, look at their mannerisms. Usually when you hear black people saying coon stuff like that, or just coon stuff in general, they're always doing weird coon mannerisms, like looking around or bugging. That's because they're looking for a white person who hopefully was in earshot that heard that'll know that they're being a good little boy or girl. Just think about every coon thing your coon ass uncles or relatives or friends have ever said. The first thing they usually do is look around. They're hoping some white person hears it. I'm going to keep it real. I think OJ did it. I hope a white person heard me. I hope a white person heard me so I can get a raise. So I normally don't like to go down the problem with black people is conversation, but I'll make an exception this time. Politically speaking, in my humble opinion, one of the main problems with black people for why we can't get right on politics is we don't like each other. We don't care about each other. And it's a mentality that, while not unique to black people, the reason for it is. And like I said earlier, we don't see each other as each other. We can see something happen to a black person, and the very first thing we'll start doing is trying to reason out why we're not like that person. And the reason why we do that, we can see some black person get killed by the police. And we can go, see, that's why you don't talk back to the police. That's why you don't talk back to the police. See, I don't talk back. See, when you're saying that, when you hear a person saying that and they're going, that's a coon defense mechanism. That's a mental coon defense mechanism for them saying, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. This isn't happening. They're terrified. And so they have to say something out loud to recenter themselves. You got to recenter your reality. When you see something bad happen to a black person simply because they are black, or a situation that's more than likely simply because they are black, it is a very unnerving feeling to know that that could happen to you. So you have to tell yourself something and tell your friends and family something to try to separate yourself from the rest of black society. Sometimes it's undeniable. Sometimes it's something where you can't separate yourself, right? some little boy playing with his toy gun, that's an obvious toy gun that gets shot by a policeman walking up. You can't sit there and go, see. That's why I don't have my kids play with toys. You can't do that. It's unnerving. But let me go a little bit further into why not caring about each other makes black politics impossible. The first thing that you start to do in politics is you start to see a collective. And you need to see a collective so that you can know what the collective needs are. Building the collective and communicating with each other as far as what overall needs and desires are is one of the most important steps in politics. You have to have a sense of community before you can have politics. And with black people, we don't see ourselves as a community. We say things that make it sound like we do. Oh, we're a nation within a nation. And we don't see ourselves as a community. We don't even see ourselves as a collection of neighborhoods. People talk a lot of shit about gang members, but gang members at least have a sense of community. Nigga, this our hood. Gang members get mad at other gang members for not putting niggas on in the community. You get a little bit too much money, you start moving off to, hey, homie. We all been through this. Everybody got to eat. What's up? You got to split that. Community organizers. Damn, community's in the title. They can't go to the Hill and say we want this and we want that as black people if we can't even be a we. Because what happens the second black people say we want something? There's always some other individualized black people who see this as their opportunity to shine. You couldn't even get white folks was down to give you Okay, niggers, how much do you want? They had the checkbook out. They had the little green tax visor out. Okay, how much do you niggers want for reparations? And what happened? You had a couple of individualized black people jump out the box, take it as their opportunity. The nigga wasn't even a black American. The nigga was a Puerto Rican. He was a damn Puerto Rican, quote RuPaul. They just found anybody that looked like they came out the toaster on 3 or above and said, you could speak for all the black people. You could always find one. You know, that's how they stole all the land from the Indians, right? They would find one off-code drunk Indian who's just in the tribe. He don't even got to be a chief. They just got to find one Indian. Oh, go find Red Tom and go have him sign this paperwork to sell off all of Nebraska to us. When the rest of the Indians would find that nigga that sold off their land, man, they'd scalp the shit out of him. But the damage is done. All it takes is one sellout. All it takes is one person that looked like you that's willing to go on that TV for enough silver or for enough butter biscuits. Fun coon fact. Did you know butter biscuits actually means a shortbread cookie? Doesn't mean biscuit. But anyway, for enough pieces of silver or enough butter biscuits, a nigga will go on TV who look like you and speak for you. Now, am I saying that as a black people, until we get every single person to adhere to what we want to do, we'll never get anything? No, of course not. White folks don't even have that. There's no country in the world that has 100% obedience or loyalty. America doesn't even have that. You have people that defect from America and bash America all the time. But what America does have is a treason clause. So the biggest crime you can do, it's not murder, it's not rape, it's not theft, it's not drug dealing, it's treason. You could go tell the enemy something that could bring everything down over here. You can't be trusted. You got to get marked so we know that you're foul. You can't come over here now. You're persona non grata. Don't nobody rock with you. Nobody likes a snitch. Nobody likes a traitor. But in the black community, We don't have a system to keep that in check. The worst that can happen with the black community is we just won't mess with you publicly. You could be Omarosa and sign with the enemy and be talking shit about black people and be coming off like you wanted to bring down a reign of terror on niggas. And then you can get fired from the White House. You can be embarrassed for a few months, but you can creep your way back into black society. You'll catch Omarosa on Real Housewives of Atlanta or Basketball Wives or something niggerish soon. She'll try to work her way back into good graces. Same with Stacey Dash. I wouldn't be surprised if you seen Diamond and Silk trying to march at a Black Lives Matter meeting in a couple of weeks. They can always come home. And the reason why it's seen like that is because black people in general, we don't feel like you sold anything out. There's nothing here to sell out. We don't feel like you turned your back on anything. We're nothing. We don't see us as us. When you see a black person selling the black community out, since you don't believe there's a black community, you believe in your mind, oh, they just doing what they got to do to come up. And let's keep that real for a minute. Every aspect of black success is surrounded around two things: getting closer to whiteness and being accepted by white folks, and getting as far as possible away from niggas as you can. Let's just be real about that. Close your eyes and think about everything every family member or friend has ever told you about black people. And just imagine if it came out the mouth of a white person, and ask yourself, would it be racist or offensive? Niggas don't like niggas. Chris Rock tried to warn y'all. See, this is something that only black people do. Chris Rock used to have this shitty joke that I hated even as a kid called Black People versus Niggas. And Black People versus Niggas exposed something. This is what I'm talking about when I say when you hear niggas talk about black folks and you close your eyes and you imagine if it was a white person saying it, would you be offended now, right? Chris Rock made a comedy special where he had a skit called Black People versus Niggas. Now, what he thought he was doing, this is that talented 10th respectability politics bullshit. What he thought he was doing was drawing a line to the world and saying, see, niggers are a certain kind of black people, you know, kind of like poor white trash that even black people look down upon. Yeah, he was loving that joke until white folks started hearing it and laughing at it and hooping it. You know when a nigga laugh a little bit too hard at your self-deprecating joke and you're like, well, hold up, nigga, you ain't supposed to be agreeing that much, right? Right? You're supposed to give a chuckle and laugh it off. You're supposed to be like, yeah, nigga, I know. Right? You're supposed to agree that much when I make a joke on myself, nigga. Hold up. White folks was hooping and hollering and laughing it up and agreeing. And see, what it did was it gave white people a green light to start going, see, even they think that about them. And it was that day Chris Rock learned something about niggas. He thought, I'm a black person. I pick my pants up. I went to school. I'm smart. I'm a black person. Those uneducated people are niggers. Those criminals and miscreants are niggers. But when that joke started going mainstream, he realized something. White folks see all niggers as niggers. Ain't that ironic? White folks unite black people and see black people as more united than black people actually are. Half of white people's nervousness about black people is that they assume we're united on some shit. Most people walk through life thinking that the world is kind of like how they are. That's why nice people, honest people are gullible, because they think everybody's honest like them. They don't think in their mind, this nigga's cheating me on my taxes, because they're thinking, I wouldn't do that. It's not even something they would fathom. Sneaky people always walk around paranoid. Not every paranoid person is sneaky. Some paranoid people are people who've been burned by sneaky people. But sneaky people are definitely always on the lookout for the 42 fake out, right? Because they're the ones that pull the 42 fake out. That's why the person that's normally cheating is the one always worried about somebody cheating on them, right? Not always, but that can be the case because they know that's a possibility. They know I'm walking around smiling in your face and just got done cheating. So I know you could do that to me. Chris Rock realized that white folks see all niggas as niggas. You're all poor to them. You're all broke and dusty to them and irrelevant. Broke his little heart. He thought if I work hard and I eat my vitamins and I say my prayers, I can be seen as a good little black person, just like how you guys are white people and the Mexicans. No, nigga, you're a nigger. There's always that group of black people since the dawn of time that get their heart broke when they realize they can't be accepted into white society. It's like watching the Tricks Rabbit every commercial, right? This nigga always got a new contraption. He done turned his bunny ears into helicopter propellers and shit and snuck into the store. But no matter what happens, he always ends up sitting there looking at the bowl of tricks he can't eat, right? And what they tell him, silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids. Like you dumbass. Like, how could you know, right? That's what it's like being a black sellout when you don't get accepted. That's why they call them tragic mulattoes, right? Because they're so close. They can almost taste whiteness. We called it passing. Think about it. If you don't pass a test, what happens? You fail, right? So if you're black and you don't pass as white, what does that mean? It means you failed in life. It means you failed in life just because you was born black. This is how black people internalize that self-hate. We've made, by definition, blackness be failure. Like you're a human scratch ticket and you scratched it and it said black. Oh, you didn't get to be white. Oh, nigga, how tragic. You were so close, nigga. Tragic. Oh, it bounced off the backboard. We don't care about each other. We don't care about what each other's going through. We don't have each other's backs. And we think of ourselves as totally individualized, completely separate, non-connected nodes. Whatever happens to you don't got shit to do with me. Whatever happens to me don't got shit to do with you. There is no we. There is no black people. There's just Joey, right? I'm representing the land of Joeyca, right? Like it's just me. Right up until something happens to you, right? Then the second something happens to you, whether you're a black celebrity or just a regular nigga off the street, all of a sudden, when something happens to you, you expect the entire black community, who you know to be thinking exactly like how you think, with your self-indulgent, only care about you, even over family members. It's just you, punk ass self, right? You expect all these other black people who think just like you to all of a sudden care about what you're going through, when you wouldn't give a shit if it was anybody else. That's what happened. Shit, let me throw you an example of a red table talk. Jada Pinkett Smith don't give a shit about a single individual black person. And no, don't hit me with any charity quotes or any of that shit, because all that shit is tax write-off. Jada Pinkett Smith don't give two shits about nobody but Jada Pinkett Smith. But as soon as Will Smith couldn't get an Oscar, some shit that don't matter to niggas at all, right? Don't advance niggas in any kind of way for Will Smith to get a motherfucking Oscar. She gonna try to call upon the power of Grayskull. She gonna try to tap into black society to get us to protest, right? While we were going through what we were going through. Imagine tapping a nigga on the shoulder, right? Who's going through Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Breonna, going through all that shit. You want to tap the nigga on the shoulder. Hey, can y'all come march over here real quick so that my husband can get a Grammy or get an Oscar? Bitch, if you don't, get the fuck out of here. What's wrong with you? Monique coming to the black community asking us to get her 20 million. You know what? I'll let Monique slide because Monique has been 10 toes down for the black community. I'll give her that. She's allowed one. Never forget, if you want to know how phony black celebrity is, never forget how silent black celebrity that's always coming down, thumbing their nose to black society to try to get us to vote or to tell us whatever white folks is telling them to tell us now. Hey, y'all need to quit being so mean to the gays or the Asians. Y'all need to. Black society, who constantly gets chastised and talked to by black celebrity was silent as hell during them George Floyd protests. Black celebrity took a timeout real quick during that entire protest, right? There wasn't one song that was the day the music died for about 3 weeks. All these rappers, all these athletes, all these people, you seen about 3 or 4 niggas that was out in them protest. You seen about 3 or 4 Tory Lanez. Like it's a damn shame I can name the people. Tory Lanez, Wale begrudgingly brought his African ass out there after he got pressured to. Little funky acting nigga. He live in Renton. He be acting hella funky. Wale begrudgingly brought his funky ass out there and had to make a scene about it. Portia Williams. Got to give her credit. Portia Williams and Yandy Smith. That's the only niggas that I can remember came out and actually did something. Because you know why? Because what did I just say? Niggas only think about themselves. So when you're not seeing, oh, this is a movement for my people. This is bigger than me. You're a black celebrity at that time and you're saying, ooh, I don't want to get in trouble with white folks. It could hurt my career. You want a perfect example? Who's that goofy nigga that was wearing the Yoshimitsu outfit on his album cover one time? Slim Thug. Slim Thug. They asked Slim Thug straight up on camera during the Mike Brown case, during that whole incident. The body still warm in the street with the white man cop still with his foot on top of his chest, right? They said, hey, man, are you going to make any statements on what's going on with? No. He straight up said, look, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm out here just trying to get money and make party music. All right, bet. Okay, cool. Couple months down the line, when that same nigga's having career problems and you want to try to cry racism, niggas remembered. We was finna pull up on a kid, nigga, but we forgot you cooned out. So you're on your own, bro. You don't go make your party music. We don't do protest. Remember that? Niggas is remembering. Who sold us out. Niggas is remembering this. See, our parents used to have black celebrities, black musicians like Marvin Gaye and shit like that. They're going to make Let's Get It On. They're going to make Sexual Healing. Then they're going to go make The Ecology. You got people like Stevie Wonder. When you listen to black music from the 60s and 70s, you can tune in and hear exactly what was going on at them times in the black community. Right? There was bubbling and troubling. You listen to Stevie Wonder songs in the same era as Bob Marley songs, they're talking about the same shit from all over the world that relates to black people. So as a black person, you got to tune in with your culture. This is something that white folks don't really want you hearing, but this is your opportunity to speak freely. This is as close as you're going to get to a Negro spiritual where we secretly telling you to follow these stars to get the hell out of here. But white folks just think you're singing a jig. That's the whole point of black music, right? But you turn into black music now, and I'm not saying the music is bad. There's a lot of cuts, but there's no information. You don't know what the hell is going on in the black community because these niggas who make this music don't know and don't give a shit what's going on in the black community. I just told you how Slim Thug moves. He is an individualized Negro, or at least he thinks. You start talking to black people, you go talk to the average black person. If you want an exercise in how the average black person thinks that they're an individualized, separate human being from the community, go start asking black people about ways that they could improve the conditions of their local black community, and watch how many times that nigga says they or them. Like he'll be living in that neighborhood, knows everybody there, but will keep referring to the community as they and them. He won't say we and us, our. Because a black person, the average black person, thinks that their condition with black people is only temporary. And that black people look at living and existing with black people, the hopeful ones, and this is the messed up part. They look at living with, existing with, and having to even deal with black people like a summer job. You know how people know that a summer job is supposed to be low paying and kind of shitty, and it's kind of something to talk about when you go back to school, but you don't really take it too seriously because you know it's temporary. You know, yeah, hey, I'm going to school. Eventually, I'm going to have a real job, and I'm going to use these shitty experiences as something to kind of keep me humble, but also to motivate me to make sure I don't want to get stuck here. Right? Having that job as the summer job is completely different than being the old guy that works at that summer job that really works there as a career. There's always that old guy that works there. You go, hey, I don't want to be him. He knows it. He knows he's the example to every young kid work there. He's seen kids go and come every summer, and he knows they're like, I don't want to be Jim. Black people don't realize we're Jim. We're always going to be in this spot. That's why when black people reach a certain age and they look around and they still in the communities that they grew up in, surrounded by the same niggas they grew up with, doing pretty much the same shit, that's when they start to get real embittered. That's when they start to get real embittered because everybody thinks right up until about 20, 25, 30 that their life's going to be the way they planned it. But most people, white, black, anything in between or outside, eventually they hit a point where they got to kind of settle into what they're really going to be. All right, you wanted to be that high-paid lawyer. Did you go to law school? No, you didn't get that bar finish. Okay, well, then you're going to be a personal injury and protection lawyer chasing ambulances for the rest of your life. If you want something more, you might have to do a little bit more. But maybe life circumstances won't allow it. Maybe you got kids and shit now. Maybe it costs too much. Maybe you got high tuition bills or bad credit. But whatever it is, you're going to have to settle into the life that you're going to live for the rest of it. Right? And for most people, it's an average life. You get a 9-to-5 job. You get a cool little house somewhere. You live in a decent neighborhood. You should be humble. You should be happy. But for many black people, for a majority of black people, far too many of black people, the life you have to settle in is very shitty. And I'll be honest with you, it's not your fault. You look around your community and you see nothing but blight and despair, lack of job opportunities. So you know that's going to lead to high crime. You can't shine too much because you shine too much, you're going to look like food to niggas who ain't shining. Niggas hate living in nigga communities. And then even if you got a nice thing going, even if you're DeSoto, Texas, where you got a lot of well-to-do black people with good income that take care of their community, clean their neighborhoods up and do all the stuff black people say black folks should do, the houses still ain't worth shit. And the community still is underfunded because white folks, white real estate agents tell white folks don't move there. Period. So even a well-to-do upper income black neighborhood is still considered the ghetto. The ghetto is simply anywhere black people of any variety or class live. All you little fancy Africans that think you're doing so well in a nice little, guess what? Them white folks don't want to live around you neither. Anything black, they're not trying to live around. White folks don't want to buy a house if a nigga is on the cover of the brochure. That's a fact. That's a fact. if you're selling a house, keep in mind, this is a this is a market where people are paying for houses in cash, right? This is a market where the buying demand is so high. The buying demand is so high. There are certain markets out here where you can't even come in pre-approved with a conventional loan because somebody will come in and beat you by paying 20% over in cash. That's how hard the buyer's market is right now. That's how easy it is to sell a house right now. But if your black ass is on the cover of the pictures selling the house, that shit won't move in a buyer's market that hot. I got to find any house. I'll do anything. Sight unseen. I got cash right here. I'll pay for it right now. What is it? A fixer upper? Is it a tear down? Is it? I don't even care. I don't even care. I'll buy the house. Where is it? Well, there's a black guy on the cover of this house. I'll sleep on the street. They're just now in 2021 admitting, because they have to, because they're still in writing, old deeds of houses. They got agreements. You're not going to sell this to a Negro, are you? You sell it to a Negro, I'm not going to, it's going to void the contract. Is that serious? Because they see all of us as one group of people. Always have and always will. But we see ourselves, we think, oh, we don't see ourselves all as African. We see ourselves as Jamaican and Brazilian. No, that's fine. It's fine to have nationalism. It's fine to be communal based on culture. That's perfectly fine. If a Jamaican sees something that a black person from America is going through and says, that ain't my struggle, he may be wrong, but I can understand him seeing the cultural differences as so strong that he can't relate. That makes sense. I'm talking about if a Jamaican sees another Jamaican being held down and getting his dreadlocks cut and shit, that Jamaican's going to have some sense of brotherhood. Like, hey, man, we can't have that happen. Because a Jamaican is going to see another Jamaican and go, if they attacked him because he's Jamaican, that shit can happen to my Jamaican ass. Same with the Haitian. Same with the Nigerian. But with the black American, if a black American sees another black American being attacked or dragged down the goddamn street simply because he's black, they're going to look at that and go, that ain't me. See, that's why you can't let 3 white boys hop out of F-150 and drag you by your neck. That's our problem. And it translates into our politics. And because every single black person sees themselves as an individual Negro, completely untethered from the lives of other Negroes, it allows a few people to come in and speak for all of us. And what do they say when they speak for all of us? See, when you're just a collection of individuals as opposed to a group, there's nothing beholding any of those individuals from treating and selling everybody else out. Again, because there's nothing to sell out, right? It's open season. It's encouraged by black people. When we see a black person using black society as a stepping stool to come up and get access into the white world, we're like damn near happy for them. Listen to what black people say when they go into white environments. Anybody who's ever read that book or watched that movie, The Hate U Give. The Hate U Give kind of seems like a setup. When you really watch the movie or read the book, it comes off with the premise. It comes off with the premise of some young black boy was killed by a cop. So you think, oh, this is going to be a movie about fighting police brutality, or this is going to be about the mistreatment that blacks suffer. And really what the movie's really about, the little black girl ends up falling in love with some white boy. The movie is really about, look how awesome these white people are. Look at how great of a life they have over here. This black girl, she befriends this magical white boy, and he basically flies her around like the never ending story and shows her the wonders and magic of whiteness. Right. And the story is really about, see, white folks aren't that bad. That's why the book is called The Hate U Give. It's talking about niggas. It spells out thug. And it's basically saying, hey, man, you niggers are the angry ones. Look at the squalor you live in. We're just trying to live our lives over here on the white side and be awesome. You niggers and your gang banging and your crip walking and your backwards hats and your like, it's basically an indictment on niggas. But it brings you in like you think it's going to be this protest story. And throughout the whole story, you got to listen to the things that this black character is saying. It was so poignant. It was so on point about how how black people actually see white people. You know, we joke about with Africans, how Africans see white men and women as literal gods when they walk through Africa. If you're a white dude and you want to, you're having some self-esteem issues or you want to kind of feel better about yourself, don't comb your hair, don't brush your teeth. Do not wear your best clothes. Just go get like some rags or some robes, or just take off your curtain from the living room and book a trip to Africa. Book a trip to literally anywhere in Africa. Uncombed, unwashed white man in Africa equals Jesus Christ. I'm not joking. There's literally a video of a random white guy just walking somewhere in Africa, and Africans are just following him, trying to touch his cloak and be healed. They want this nigga to walk on. He's probably drowning right now. They probably threw him in the ocean and try to have him walk on water or something. They really thought he was Jesus. Africans think white folks is God so much. I got a video of just a fat white dude in the middle of, I think he's in either Uganda or the Congo, just slapping the shit, just back slapping and bitch slapping some big strapping black African buck. Like, this dude could probably snap this white man's neck with 2 fingers if he wanted to. Just for a mental picture Francis Ngannou from the UFC, big ass dude from Cameroon, right? Picture a dude like that working at a hotel and being bitch slapped by a dude that looks like the dad from the Poltergeist. Just some old, fat, middle-aged white guy with a gut and a fanny pack slapping the shit out of this African dude, talking about, you're disrespecting your God? You're disrespecting Christ? They got that much mental power over them Africans over there. So when you sit back and wonder, damn, you got a country with 1 million Africans in it, 80 million Africans in it, and 2 white dudes, and the 2 white dudes is punking everybody and having sex with all the women, and the Africans are scared, and you think, oh, it's because of the army. No, it's because the Africans worship white people as gods in Africa. You think you're going to go home to Africa and see your brothers and sisters? Go to Africa with a white friend. Watch them push you off of a goddamn sand dune to get to that white man. Now, why did I all of a sudden switch and start talking shit about Africans? I'm not. The point of me saying that was to say, I wanted to draw a picture to how overt Africans physically literally see, and will admit that white people are their gods, right? But let's keep it real. Black people in America, we think that subtly too. I see it every day. Which is why it's so funny when I be hearing white folks talking about niggas not liking white folks. I'm thinking, show me a nigga that don't love white folks more than black people. The average black person loves white people, can't stand niggas. And the reason for it is, like I said, the average black person doesn't even see black people as a group. The average black American sees being a black American like undeclared at a college, like you haven't picked a major. They look at Asians as a group, Hispanics as a group, Arabs as a group, whites as the group, and niggas is just like undeclared. Like miscellaneous, like not applicable. And so when you see your own people as that, and you're built to only look out for yourself, your next meal, your next day to day, you're not looking for groups or camaraderie or community. You're looking for the next nigga that can do something for you. Black people exist in a world of who can do something for me. Chris Brown pinpointed that shit, and these hoes ain't loyal. And your man can't do nothing for you. She'll cheat. She don't love you. She's dating you until something better comes along. And a nigga like a Chris Brown represents a something better coming along. Yeah, she's going to cheat and slide on you for a couple of racks and a night to meet Chris Brown. Yeah, black folks will sell you out for a pat on the head from white society and a couple of $100,000. You can't do nothing for it. Black folks don't exist in a world of, I hope black folks like me. What's that do for you? There's plenty of black folks that black folks loved. And when white society came crashing down, blacks couldn't do nothing for them. Niggas love Martin Luther King. Niggas love Malcolm X. Niggas love Huey Newton, Medgar Evers, Fannie Lou Hamer. Right? We love them. Oh, they revere. They still, oh my goodness. Dr. Clark, Francis Cress Welsing. We love them. All of them get assassinated. We don't do shit. They die broke and penniless. Go look at how some of your black leaders, your black scholars, your black historians that put their whole life on the line for niggas, their whole life and well-being, their energy, didn't get to see their families and kids the way they wanted to. Malcolm X never got to see his daughters grow up. MLK never got to see his daughters grow up. And by the way, when you reach that height, when you reach the height to where the government got to kill you, do you think they just let your family go? No, they be keeping an eye on your family for the rest of their life. Whenever you see MLK's family up there talking, or you see them saying something kind of coonish or scared or timid, you damn right they're scared and timid. They killed their dad. Every time you see, every interview you see anybody with the last name King that's related to MLK talking on TV, just picture right off camera a rifle pointed at their head. Nigga, you better say. Why do you think whenever an officer involved shooting happens and they come at the family with that settlement money, the first thing the family got to say on that mic first before they even get a check is, everybody calm down. Don't riot. Don't trip out. They won't get that money if they don't do that. You think they're not watching? I mean, what? Malcolm X's daughter just died a couple days ago, right after they admitted that they killed Malcolm X. So I guess by that logic, that means in 50 years, they'll admit they killed her too. Malcolm X's son was also killed while on a trip to Mexico. So yeah, when you hear these people from the families that they get killed talking, yeah, they're captive. So look at all these people that put it on the line for black people. What did they get for that? They get a little respect and admiration from black folks and nothing else. You get a tip of a hat for, hey, nigga, you tried. We're not going to do shit to honor what you was trying to do. Malcolm X's whole legacy died with Malcolm X. It's just a bunch of niggas that quote parts from him. A couple of niggas got a Malcolm X hat, and that's about it. Don't nobody do shit he was trying to do. Look at all the Black Panthers that really died out there, actually picked up that tool and tried to take on the Klan one-on-one. And all they needed was for niggas to have their back. Here, man, we got the pathway. We can do it like this. That shit died because niggas said, I ain't coming out. Like, think about it. There's 48 million black people in America, right? There's like 48 million black people. There's 300 and something thousand white people, allegedly, right? How many of them white people joined the Klan? We ain't talking about all white. We're talking about if you take all white people and you extrapolate out just the niggas that joined the Klan, what do you think the percentage would be? And then if you took black people and you took out all the niggas that was active Panthers, what do you think the percentage would be? There's nowhere near. And I'm using percentage because I don't want niggas saying, well, there's more white folks than black folks. Percentage, my nigga, percentage. Bet you dollars to goddamn donuts that the percentage of white people that were exuberant about killing and terrorizing niggers within greater white society, I'm guarantee you that percentage is significantly higher than the percentage of black men that was down to pick up that thing and defend the people. So the Panthers ended up out there by themselves. We let all the white society hit the Black Panthers from every angle. We let the KKK hit the Panthers. We let the police hit the Panthers. We let the legal system hit the Panthers. We let the media hit the Panthers. And we sat there and let them niggas fight on their own and just said, those niggas over there. Suddenly the Panthers became those niggas, right? So what do you think that, do you think that encourages or discourages black cohesion? When every time somebody sticks their neck out for the people, we let that nigga get his head chopped off. We don't do shit. Hell, you want to go into modern times? Look at Nipsey Hussle. Niggas finally had one. You had one. You had the nigga. You had Crip Jesus. You had the nigga. This whole game is about influence. You had somebody who was going to make being educated, having your business together. He was making that shit cool in the black community, in the streets. He was showing niggas how to move where you don't got to be a rah-rah nigga. Nipsey wasn't no punk. He wasn't some simp ass dude, but he wasn't some goofy nigga that's a rah-rah nigga that's leading people down the wrong path. Nipsey's not going to be telling young kids to do something that 20 years down the line, he's talking about that he regret. Nipsey Hussle and Juicy J are two totally different entities. Nipsey ain't trying to get you to drink lean, to have unprotected sex with random partners. He's trying to get you to use Bitcoin. He's trying to get you to learn how to buy property. Everything was going down the right path. And what's the one thing Nipsey asked you guys to do if anything ever happened to him? This is the one favor he asked. Nigga, if something happens to me, can you ride for me? That's it. Nipsey people was so honorable. When he died, they gave back the money y'all tried to donate to him. He said, we don't need no burial money, nigga. Nigga was a multimillionaire. We're good. Here's your money back. Nigga died with honor. All he asked you niggas to do was to ride for him. Get the nigga who got me back. That's all I'm asking. It don't got to go no further than that. Nothing. So what you think that means to the next Nipsey Hussle that's in the crowd of black people, the next MLK that's in the crowd of black people, the next Malcolm X? He sees, oh shit, they don't really care about me. Everybody's just on scavenger mode. They're all on Ronnie Ho quotes. You got to use what you got to get what you want. You're looking for the next come up. And the most likely come up, if you're an individualized, only looking out for self ass nigga like most of us, the most realistic come up is going to be somebody that got something. Now, who's the group of people that got something? It's white folk. That's why I said niggas can't do shit for you. This is the way black folks move. Black folks talk about niggas like how white folks in the 1800s talked about niggas. Like, think this is what always blows my mind, right? What do white women say about white men when they complain? When they bemoan the behaviors and attitudes of white men, they say men are dogs. Men are all the same. Men, white men, black men, they're all the same, right? That comes from a perspective of having dated different colors of men, different cultures. They're all the same. They're all dog. It's a dick ass quote, but it's all encompassing. It's inclusive, right? What do black women say about black men? Not about our behavior, about our value. What do black women say about black men that they've been saying since 1863? Niggas ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit. Men are dogs means that men have a certain behavior that you find to be unbecoming, right? Men act in a fashion that's looked down upon by women. That's what men are dogs mean. Niggas ain't shit means niggas ain't shit. Means niggas are worth literally nothing in the grand scheme of your life. Men are dogs is tied to behavior. It denotes a childish, reactionary, hyper focused on small things, your own fleeting joys and happiness, right? Just the next bouncy ball in front of you. You're not thinking about other people or how it affects things. That's what men are dogs means. They're immature, right? These are personality traits. Niggas ain't shit is a value set. Niggas have low value in the grand scheme of society. Niggas ain't shit. They're completely worthless. You can't say Black Lives Matter and niggas ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit literally means black male lives don't matter. And the reason why you say niggas ain't shit isn't because a nigga cheated on you, a nigga beat you, a nigga stole your money, a nigga disrespected you. It ain't got nothing to do with that shit. Because a white man will do all that shit in a relationship. You won't say shit about white folks. The reason why you say niggas ain't shit is because, like Chris Brown said, a nigga can't do nothing for you. You don't gain any status as a black woman from dating a black man in the greater scheme of society. You might be dating one of the best looking men in the world. Other black women will say, hey, go ahead. That's cool. Maybe even a couple white women will look at you, right? But that black man's black man status can't get you nowhere unless he's an athlete or a celebrity. That's why all the black women in the black community fight over the few celebrities, the few athletes that we have in the community, despite the fact that those dudes be the main dudes that don't be shit. Those are the main niggas cheating on you. Those are the main niggas cheating on you with women you know, with women you're friends with. Like, just think about this for a minute. Look at any black celebrity blog, any black celebrity video, any black celebrity chat, any news. Look at the things that all these black women happily accept from these niggas who, by definition, would be dogs. But because they're celebrities or they're rich or they're athletes, which basically means or they're rich or they're rich or they're rich and famous, magically, they don't fall in the niggas ain't shit category. You notice that? The niggas whose behavior is most likened to shit never get the niggas ain't shit category because they have money and fame. So niggas ain't shit don't have anything to do with unbecoming behavior in black women's eyes. Niggas ain't shit is completely tied to a value set that you get as a black person right off the bat. Niggas ain't shit is almost like counting dominoes or something. And black folks, black men are like the under 10 points that don't even count, right? It's like, oh. Being a nigga to a black woman is like having like Jack 2 in poker, which is also known as Jack shit, right? If you open up your hand in poker and you got a 2, a 3, a Jack, a 7, a 9, and they're all unsuited, what are you going to say? I don't got shit. Now you're holding cards in your hand, right? So you have something, but what's wrong? It's not worth anything in the game. You got to muck your hand, right? You don't got shit. No one's going to go, well, you're holding cards. No, you don't got shit. You don't have anything of value. That's what niggas ain't shit means. Let's quit pretending this. And you can see it in the attitudes and stuff. Black women who date white men turn into white women, right? They turn into, look, black women who date white men turn into the white women that they think those white men date. All of a sudden, you over here making cucumber sandwiches and shit. You ain't never made no damn cucumber sandwich. Look at the goofy shit black people argue about online with regards to just dating. I've gone back from politics, which is group communication, group cooperation, and just went to relationships, which is one-on-one. And niggas can't even get along on one-on-one. Black men and black women hate each other. Look at some of the dumbass shit that black women and black men argue about online, like white folks ain't watching them, snickering and laughing their ass off. When's the last time you've seen a white woman arguing with white men about having to fix a plate at a goddamn barbecue. When's the last time you seen any other race of people argue about that? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Keep in mind, let me just briefly explain why that's such a big deal. And this lets you know how much we hate each other. We're not talking about some color purple scenario like they try to paint it. Like it's a black man demanding you bring him some lemonade and then you bring him the lemonade while he's talking to his boys and he snap his finger and say, not cold enough. Get out of here. We're talking about people at a barbecue, right? You done got your funky ass up to fix you a plate. Can I get a plate? You done cooked dinner. You stood up all day and cooked dinner while I'm at work. And you're up getting yourself a plate. Can you fix me something? It's that simple. It's that simple. But you want a nigga to walk around the car door and open the door for you. Niggas don't have no problem with that. It's as simple as something like that. Ain't nobody asking for you to get up off the couch and cook me a meal. Come on now. We're not in the 50s. Is it that big of a deal to just do something nice for a nigga? Right? Is it that big of a deal? Like if the nigga was going to the kitchen, he wouldn't fix you a plate. Like it's some sexist stuff. Like a nigga wouldn't fix you a plate. And then it's like, well, where does the pettiness go? So you gonna trip off of having to fix me a plate in the kitchen that you was heading to anyway. But if I ordered some food, you expect to be able to eat off my damn plate. Take away my damn nourishments, right? I ordered just enough food for me. I thought we was out here being strong and black and independent. Niggas arguing about paying for their girl on a date. That's weird shit. That shows we just don't personally like each other. We don't see each other as each other. And because of that, when you have great separation between two things, anything can come in between it. See, now I'm talking about all this stuff, and I bet some of y'all listening are thinking I'm talking about love and relationships and everybody holding hands and giving each other, I'd like to buy a world of Coke. No, I'm not talking about none of that shit. I'm talking about, can we be in a room more than two deep, right? This is why people say we're not intelligent. This is why people say we're not intelligent. They know black people individually can be intelligent. An individual black person can be highly intelligent. In fact, you can take an individual black person, and this has been proven time and time again, and incorporate them into white society, and they'll function just like a white person. Black people are seen as unintelligent because we can't be smart together. You can have 4 or 5 black doctors, 4 or 5 black engineers, doctors, geniuses, neurophysicists. You put 4 of them in a room, they'll be arguing. Okay, guys, we're going to put you guys in this room here, and we're going to try to figure out how we can isolate this neutron here, and we could probably develop some new form of energy. I'll be back in 1 hour. You guys are the top 4 African-American scientists in your fields, and I'll be right back. You come back, these niggas are arguing over Tupac and Biggie. Niggas is going to find something to argue over. And you're like, these niggas all got the highest grades. We can't get along because when one black person gets around another black person, especially in the vicinity of white folk, we're going to be fighting in competition for the admiration and attention of that white person. I got 2 kids. If I say anything nice about my younger daughter, my oldest daughter's on my head about, what about me? If I say something sweet about about my oldest daughter, I turn around, my youngest daughter got her arms folded and she's in the corner about to cry. What about me? I got to tell them, hey, whoa, time out. Just because I say something nice about one of you don't mean I don't mean it about the other one. Well, then why did you say it about the one? That's the kind of shit you get into with black folk. You see other black people at the job, you don't even be thinking, oh, good, there's other black people. There's a lot of black folks that be thinking, oh, it's competition. There can be only one, right? You see another black person at the job, you think, oh, they're about to fire my black ass. They done found another black guy. We don't see each other as, oh, hey, man, we getting our numbers up like everybody else do, because we don't see each other as a friend, especially when it comes to the opposite sex. Let's just keep it real. If a member of another ethnic group does anything, we instantly praise that as if our group doesn't already do that shit. The men and the women do that. Y'all be bragging on white women. Man, she ain't gonna argue with you. You've been dating her for 3 months. It's the honeymoon phase. I done seen plenty of black dudes. You will never see. Let me dispel some myths right now. You will never see a more confused nigga on earth than a black man that's getting into his first argument or spat with his white girlfriend. It's the funniest thing in the world, especially when he's getting cussed out by the white girl and he's in the wrong and the shit's funny as hell. He be looking at, you see a black dude getting checked by his white girlfriend. He be looking like a computer that ain't working and he don't got the manual. He's like, this malfunctioning. They ain't supposed to do that. She's yelling at me. Be cussing your ass out just like a black girl. Hands clapping and everything. White guys walking by. Surprise! Could have told you. I got white friends. They be like, white women don't argue. White women don't argue. White women be having some of the, man, see, I've worked around white folks. You don't know how white women talk about their husbands. White folks got problems just like black folks do. Just like black folks do. But you don't know that because everything you know about white folks, black folks think about white folks. Black folks think of white folks like the vampires in Twilight. They just revere them. They just be in awe. Like, I forgot who said this. I want to give credit to whoever said it. It might be Neely Fuller. It might be somebody newer, but I love this quote. They said, you cannot trust a black person until you see how they move around white people. That, oh my God, if that shouldn't be on, if that shouldn't be one of the 11th commandments, that is one of the truest, that should be one of the 10 commandments of niggas. Don't ever trust a nigga until you see how he moves around white folks. Because, oh my God, you be seeing niggas looking like they in love with white men. You be seeing, you ever have a black friend or a black family member and then you see how they act around white folks for the first time and you lose all respect for him? Like, this nigga's giggling and shit. He's doing things you ain't never seen him do. And nigga, are you curling some of your hair on your finger? The fuck are you? Like, be looking like straight hoes for white people. Like that scene in Django Unchained when Samuel L. Jackson first saw Leonardo DiCaprio's character. Oh, I miss you like I miss a rock in my shoe. Who that nigga on that nag, right? That's why niggas be so hostile to the new nigga. You gonna mess up my position with these good white folk, right? Every black person looks at themselves like a wholly individualized nigga just trying to make it in America, almost like an immigrant. And you know you need white friends and niggas get in the way. That's why black folks be openly hostile to other black people, because niggas can't do nothing for you. That's how niggas think. Everything about your blackness is surrounded by getting to whiteness. You can't think of the only black city that black people think of, I want to go there, is Atlanta. That's the only black city that black folks in their mind think is like Wakanda, that's doing halfway decent. And the reason why you think that is because you see pictures of Atlanta from your home and you'll see black cops, black mayors, black medical workers, black firemen. And you're like, oh, finally, just a black city where there's regular black folks, not living in squalor, taking penitentiary chances. And then you go to Atlanta and it's niggas living in squalor, taking penitentiary chances. It's black life. It's very, very rare that you have a black mayor or a black friend that's got some kind of connection to get things done. That's usually your white friend. It's usually your white friend. You can go over, hey, man, I'm having some problems. Well, hey, man, I got a lawyer. My uncle's a lawyer. And I can ask my cousin who's a physician and she could tell you if that's a malpractice. You can't get that shit with niggas. And keep in mind, it's not that niggas don't have that. It's that niggas ain't gonna share that with niggas. You can have a black friend who's got a lawyer friend. You can have a black friend who has a lawyer in the family or a connect on. Hell, you can have a black friend that works at a company you want to work for. What's that nigga gonna tell you? Go apply. You're gonna hook you up with no job, nigga. You can mess him. He's the one nigga there. You get him fired. He's not gonna help you. He's an individual black person and he's made it. You go make it. That's how niggas think. We don't see ourselves as connected. So if we don't see ourselves as connected, there's no point in seeing more niggas in wherever we're trying to go. Look at Jay-Z. What he says, there's plenty of us in here. The first thing niggas want to do when they get up top is start blocking other niggas from coming up. That's competition. There can be only one, like Highlander. So until we start to get that part worked out, and that part's got to be grassroots, bottom up. There's no black politician, there's no Obama that can come fix that. Nobody can come fix that but us. We have to stop wanting to be like that. We have to actually start liking each other. And I'll be honest, I don't know how we can do that. I'm not MLK. I'm not Malcolm X. I'm not some big influencer that can get everybody black in the community. Hell, if Farrakhan can't do it, what chance do I got? So what I would say is start working on actually liking each other. Start really doing research. See, the first thing that I noticed about black people, and I know I'm about an hour in, but this needs some conversation. It's very disturbing. Because black people's first inclination is to get away from black people once they become successful, because that is how black success is measured. The black inclination is to just escape from niggas. This is just escape from niggas. That's the problem. There is no black self-hate. Niggas love themselves. They don't like anybody else. There is no black self-hate because black people don't see themselves as black people. They think that black person problem is a y'all problem. That ain't me. They ain't gonna do that to me. Mess around, look around, see them doing that to them. Help! Why ain't nobody helping me? We supposed to be a people. We don't care about each other. So I'm going to take it that far. This particular episode, it wasn't about any particular policy. It's about the nature of politics. And at the end of the day, underneath politics is community, is neighborhood, it's communion, it's groups, it's culture. We have to come together on something. We can't just be united in we don't like getting mistreated, because all you got to do to divide people over that is to just not mistreat a few of them. And what happens whenever the pressure comes off a few black people? Those black people instantly turn around and shit on the rest of black society because they're no longer united with us, because they're no longer suffering like the rest of us. So we can't just be united in struggle. We have to be united in a sense of togetherness. What unites us? What unites us other than our collective mistreatment? What do we want? Who are we? Who are we? What do we want to be? Do we like each other? What do you think life's going to be like as a black American 40, 100, 200 years from now? If in 2021, we're openly celebrating, based on gender, when, there's a dude, I think I've mentioned it before, O'Shea Duke Jackson. And I originally thought, okay, this guy's kind of like a black men's rights activist. You know what I'm saying? He's going to call out some of the hypocrisy of some of these black feminists who use black men as stepping stools to access white society. Right? Like, I thought, okay, that's kind of his shtick. Fine. But then as I started watching him more, I had to unsubscribe from this nigga because I realized This dude, and I hate using this phrase because this is an all-encompassing phrase sometimes for black men when they don't fall in line with the black feminist regime. But this dude really don't like black women. This dude literally got a show that just celebrates whenever something bad happens to a black woman. Even if the story don't really got shit to do with black women. If just some random black woman fell down a flight, we're not even talking about black celebrities. If some random black woman fell down a flight of stairs somewhere, guess who's celebrating? It's that nigga O'Shea Duke Jackson. This nigga got an episode about it. Like, this nigga will have episodes that ain't got shit to do with black women, and he'll still turn it on a way to bash black women. I'm like, nigga, what are you doing? Joe Biden is going to be working 24 hours a day to get the ports cleared up. And I guess that means you black women are getting your weaves. Y'all ain't just like, what the hell is you doing? For a nigga that's living in Sweden that ain't nowhere near no black American women, right? But then look how this nigga talk about the African women. He treats the African women with the utmost respect and adoration and pet gloves, even when they do some foul shit. Well, you know, their culture's different and we have to be respectful of. You can't make a business out of shitting on your people and then try to pretend like you don't got some hang up against those people. You got fools like Cynthia G, who just follows around niggas who date white women. You live in Seattle, Washington, the home of the interracial marriage. And you go around and you show black women these videos and these pictures and you entitle it What They Want, right? You go past all of the niggas with black women, who are an overwhelming majority of niggas who date women. Black men who date women prefer black women. 5-1. 5-1. Excuse me, 4-1. 80%, above 80% of the black men who date black women. And keep in mind, this is another thing that a lot of black women use. See, a lot of these black women celebrities and black women activists, they have to keep black women as a whole in this mindset of black men are attacking them. See, this is another thing that's a problem. We got a lot of black celebrity, online fake celebrity gossip folk that pump this notion up that black men don't like black women. And then on the other side, you got O'Shea Duke Jackson niggas that confirm it and that pump up this notion that black women don't like black men. And it starts up this whole goofy gender war shit. That's pretty obviously something started by some white folks, right? Because most of these black celebrities, most of these black influencers are paid by white people. They're not individual thinkers. They're not, you know what I'm saying? So let's look at this real quick. I had a goofy ass conversation with another black online YouTuber, right? And she had told me, she said, black men sold black women out first. Now we're kind of retaliating. And I said, okay, whoa, time out. Give me the date that black men, just collectively, like we're big pharma, right? Give me the date that black men officially sold y'all out. What did we do? Was it the Battle of Gettysburg? Like, what did black men do to where we officially sold y'all out as a whole? Couldn't answer the question. That's because when you really talk to these black women activists and these black men activists, and you ask them to back up their rhetoric, because selling out, treason, that's a big accusation, right? You dating a white dude, I don't consider that selling out. I don't even consider that divesting. I consider that dating, right? Just the whole divestment movement. It's corny. No one's a few black women are dating some balding white guys now. It's cool. That's been the case since the 70s. What do you think all them potential mean he ain't doing nothing now, ain't nothing going on but the rent type of females was talking about? Those are the girls in the black community that would date a white guy. You need some money. All right, that's cool. But just like the black men that finally get a fat white woman and get to talking shit about the black community as a whole. I did a whole show on this. I said, niggas, black folks are the only people. We're the only. Think about if you've ever heard an Asian say this. If you've ever heard a white person say, if you've ever heard anybody who's not black, have you ever heard anybody who's not black, who's in an interracial relationship, talk shit about their race? Have you ever heard a single white dude? The biggest interracial relationships isn't black men and white women. It's white men and Asian women. It's the biggest interracial relationship in the world. Asian women, white men. Do you ever hear white men talking shit about how white women are inferior to Asian women? Never. Do you ever hear Asian women talking about how, oh, white men are just more manly than Asian men? You don't never hear anybody talking shit about the race that they're not dating anymore, right? It's just like, I like this guy. I like Susie. She's cool. She's good to me. The only people that can date an entire race when they're dating somebody from that race is black people. Because for black people, unlike any other group, what's really exciting to us about dating outside our race is the fact that people are allowing us to do it. Half the time when you hear about a black person, male or female, talking about dating somebody from another race, they're not even talking about that person. They're not even in love with that person. They don't even talk about that person as an individual. They talk about the race that they are and how excited they are that they were accepted by that race. Look at Joshua Jackson. Peter Bishop from Fringe. Some of you niggas might know him as Pacey, but I ain't gonna judge. Don't ask how I know that. Anyway, let's take Joshua Jackson, the actor. White dude, cool guy. You know, he has a black girlfriend. He has a black British wife. They just recently got married, right? Now, I want you to watch the whoop bam boogie on this one. Watch for the jug. They're talking to Joshua Jackson and his wife. And his wife, she's an actress too, but I'll be honest, I don't know what shit she's in. So, yeah. And she starts going on and on lamenting about how much she loves white men. Not Joshua Jackson. White men. About how white men have made her feel beautiful. White men are the only people who could make me feel beautiful because they've told me. She didn't say one word about the white man who actually has a name and identity that she's actually dating that's right there. Right? Now, when they put the mic on Joshua Jackson, this nigga didn't say shit about no black women. He was just like, for all you know, she might be the first black woman he's ever dated. Which would be fine. He made it clear he fell in love with the individual. Yeah, I forget her name. But he's like, yeah, I met her and we just really get along. He kept talking about her, the individual, which is what you're supposed to do. She kept talking about his race and his culture and how they have accepted her and how that makes her feel so good. She don't give a shit about dating him. She knows that dating him and not being ravaged in the streets or his family not making fun of it is what matters to her. That's what black people get out of interracial relationships. They get the fact that, like the men too, black men be tickled pink. Pardon the phrase, right? Black men be tickled pink by the fact that they could walk down the street with a white woman and not get lynched. That's the whole reason you date a white woman. I bet if you asked half these niggas things about their white girlfriends, they wouldn't even know. What's Susie's favorite drink? Oh, shit, I don't know, milk, something white. They don't know. It's just fun to be able to walk around town with a white woman, and you know them white dudes don't like you for doing that, but they can't just out lynch you no more in the streets. That's the appeal. And the cosigns on credit. But that's the appeal. Black people be in love with the idea that it's okay for them to interracially date. We be enamored by the fact that we're accepted or it's acceptable to be out in public with a monkey. That's how black people see ourselves. We see ourselves as lower, so we're appreciative when somebody just acknowledges or accepts us. That's why black people date interracially differently. It's not even a taboo when you see other groups together. You see whites and Asians all the time. You'll see Hispanics and whites. No, nobody cares. Nobody cares. But as soon as you see a black person with a white person, listen, a black woman will see a black woman walking down the street with a white man, just any white man, bald ring around his head, gut, you know what I'm saying? That those red freckles all over his face, clearly at the end of his lifespan. And that black woman will congratulate that black girl. She don't know shit about their relationship. This nigga could be beating the shit out of her, molesting her kid. You don't know. They could both be broke. They could be about to walk in and file bankruptcy. You don't know anything. But you see her with that white man. And that tells you everything you need to know. And she'll go ahead, girl. Because that's some Ronnie Ho quote shit. It's almost like you found you that golden trick that put a ring on it. And let me tell you something. White folks are getting tired of it because that's fetishizing somebody. White folks are getting tired of it. There's whole YouTube channels. Like, look at how corny we are as a people. Watch this. You call a black woman who dates white guys swirlers, right? What do you call an Asian woman who dates white guys? Nothing, right? She's just a woman, right? What do you call an Hispanic woman who dates white guys or an Arab woman who dates white guys? Nothing. Okay, let's turn the heat up. What do you call a white woman who dates black guys? I think there is a phrase. I think white guys call them mud sharks or something like that. But that's another story. I mean, amongst black people, we don't say anything. Despite the fact that there's much higher numbers of these things, there's much higher numbers of Asian women who date white men, who get married to white men, than there will ever be black women who date or marry white men. But you don't see nobody calling no Asian women no swirlers because that's not what they do. They just happen to do that. It's not like a part of who they are. You've made dating a white man so important. And some niggas make dating a white girl so important. You niggas had a song about it. White girls, vision dreams of whiteness going through my mind. You niggas had a song about it. You niggas treat dating a white person as such a high honor, as such an accomplishment, that you've made it a part of your identity. And you don't think that shit's weird. The white boys be dissing you and disrespecting you and disregarding you just like the niggas. There was a black girl that had a whole show. She had other black swirlers and shit. They were having a team meeting about swirling, and they had a white guy on. They were interviewing this nigga like, oh, so what's it like dating black girls? And this white dude did some nigga shit. See, because a lot of these young white dudes that are dating black, they're just fucking black girls. They're going on dinner dates and fucking them. Just like a nigga would do. So he went on the show and kept it real. Yeah, I like a black girl for this and for that. He was basically making it clear, I just use y'all for sex. Y'all just use me for money. The money that I have, the pennies that I have is more money than a lot of y'all will ever even know. So it's no big deal to chuck y'all off a couple of hundos. And we know y'all will do anything for a couple of hundos. So it's a good exchange. And this girl was crying on the show. She was heartbroken. Like she didn't know what the deal was. Like, let's keep it real as people. And again, I'm not just saying this about black women. This is niggas too. We put too much value in other people because we don't like us. Let's keep it real. Look, black women, let's keep it real. I can't respect no black woman that openly admits she goes to Dubai, but gonna pretend like we don't know what you're doing in Dubai. Okay? Don't be trying to act like you're stunting for the gram because you flying international. And if you don't got no stamps on your passport, don't talk to me. But you're going to Dubai where we know you're about to go get shitted on for a couple of thousands. You be messing with them Saudi Arabian niggas who drive Ferraris and got, rainbow colored pet cheetahs and shit because they got oil money. And you go over there to Saudi Arabia. Y'all go over there to Dubai. Y'all go over there to the Middle Eastern spots where they specifically, and let me be very clear about this. This is no innuendo. This is not speculation. This is fact. You ask these Yasser Arafat looking niggas, they'll tell you straight up, yes, we bring the black women here to shit on them. Like literally sit there and squat and shit on your head. You know how people ask all the time? This is why I hate these jokes online. People ask you dumbass questions about what would you do for money? Would you slap your mom for $1 million? The only people that ask those questions and answer those questions are niggas. And what niggas don't realize what they're doing when they ask them dumbass questions and answer them dumbass questions is they're basically asking, what would you do for a Klondike bar? How much would you humiliate and lower yourself for money? Would you eat a nigga's ass for some money? Huh? Would you eat the booties like groceries? Most niggas would do it. Most black people live a life to where you'll do, men and women will do whole shit. You'll do something strange for some change. You know those channels on YouTube where you see people just walk up to folks on the street and they got a couple $100 in their hand. Hey, would you go kiss that homeless person for $100? Niggas will do most of them tricks because niggas don't be having no money. Don't get me wrong. There be all kinds of white women getting caught up in sex slavery and doing weird shit under quote unquote modeling agencies. Don't get me wrong. I'm not singling black women out. But what I'm saying is let's quit pretending like we don't know what you're doing in Dubai. You're not going there on some fancy trip trying to flaunt to us like you stunting big. You got to wipe feces off your face when you go home. That's how other groups of people treat us because they know we have no value in the world because we don't value ourselves. And when I say that, I don't mean it from some pick up your pants and don't wear that short dress. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you see other black people, you think that nigga ain't shit. That's your default attitude when you see another black person. Oh, this nigga ain't shit. That's a black person's default when they see another nigga. That's why you can't even listen to other black folks. You can have a team full of black folks on the job. You have a black manager, won't shit get done. He could be trained, skilled, got degrees, know what he's doing. That nigga ain't shit. Let a white dude come up with half his training and half his ability and give him that position. Niggas, I gotta make sure Matt told me I gotta do this. That's how we are. It's understandable why we're like that. It's kind of hard taking orders from a nigga when I know at any point in time, literally any white person could come up, just slap the shit out this nigga and tell him shut the fuck up. Like that's how it was for black people back in the day. So it's hard to have a hierarchy in black people. You the big black boss. You the main nigga. But Master's little 4-year-old son can come over here and tell you to shut the fuck up. And you 40 years old and you gotta be like, yes, sir. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm not gonna respect you. He don't gotta respect you. And that's been baked into us. So when we see other black people, we don't respect each other. We don't even like each other. You're in the way of me getting, hopefully, to some white people so I can change my life. And with that kind of attitude, we can never do black politics because we don't even see ourselves as a we. The second white people actually give in and go, all right, what do you niggas want? All of a sudden, you niggas becomes 48 million individual people that all want something different and don't want the other person to get shit. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. It's a white guy. And we were talking about the direction that the world's going in. And he used the phrase, he went, yeah, you know, everybody's going through something. And you got to be mindful of how you come at people, how you treat people, because everybody's going through something. You never know, you know, what you could say or do that could really change things for that person, for the better or the worst, right? You could be talking to somebody and the thing you say or do to them could make them go home, and that could be the final straw, make them go home and blow their brains out or become a mass shooter, or to decide not to shoot somebody or not to hurt somebody or to help somebody or to turn their life around. You never know. But everybody's going through something, so you got to be mindful of how you treat people. And it made me think, you know, As a black person, I never really realized that the phrase everybody's going through something is supposed to be used in that context. As a black person, we don't use that phrase in that. We don't use everybody's going through something to mean care about other people and to be mindful of how you move in the world with people and to treat people with respect and with kindness and to try to do something to make that person's day a little bit better because everybody's going through something. We don't use that phrase for that. We use that phrase a lot, but we don't use it for that. In the black community, see, everybody's going through something is supposed to be a phrase that unites everybody. But in the black community, we don't use that for that. In the black community, we say the phrase everybody's going through something to dismiss whatever somebody's going through at the time, right? That's how we use the shit. Hey, man, I'm just going through hard times, my nigga. It's hard getting. Oh, hey, man, well, everybody's going through something. It's not meant to be inclusive or to unite. It's meant to dismiss. Nigga, I don't give a fuck what you're going through. Everybody's going through something. I'm looking out for me. That's how we move. And then we wonder why nobody will help us when we won't even help us. We can't get the simplest of things going because everybody is always Alpo Martinez in the elevator when it comes to black people. We just we don't really love each other. We're all kind of with each other until something better comes along. And the second a better opportunity comes along, be it a nigga with more money, a girl with a fatter ass, or especially an opportunity to be accepted by white society, the second those opportunities come up, it's you got 40 bricks right now? And it's a wrap. We don't care about each other. We see each other simply as stepping stones, as means to an end. And until we get over that, we're going to always be in this position because guess who does that better than anybody? Guess who steps on heads of poor, insignificant people like us better than anybody? Who's already in a higher position to be able to exploit us like that all day long? You're never going to out-white white folks. Start learning how to be black folks. Start actually caring about each other. Then we can get to this politics. Signing out.